That's okay, that's okay, that's okay. We're here to help. So first heard about Shaq when Rod actually sent me a photo. His head was drooping down to the side and we were so busy at the time, we had loads of stuff going on. We didn't have any time, but in a case like that you make time. So driving down to see Shaq, it was myself and Rod going in different directions and I just had that photo in my mind. I didn't know what to expect and I expected it to be pretty bad. It's always quite worrying when you arrive. Oh dear. Hello. First impressions were I kind of glimpsed him and I was like, wow. I was like, that can't be what I just saw with my eyes. It can't be like real how big that thing is. He was like quite aggressive, to be honest. That's okay, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. We see lots of injuries, but with Shaq's, I had never seen that before, something that size. So I was looking at it thinking like, that's a tumour. It was my first sort of impression and I was like, maybe I'm taking him to the vet and they're going to say nothing we can do and we might have to put him down. I mean, those were the thoughts that were in my head driving down there. The first vets we took him to actually were like, can't deal with this, it's too big, we don't know how to deal with it. But then we took him to more of like an animal hospital, a bigger vet, and they looked at him and they were like, let's try and drain it. So we got him up on the table and their initial comment on Shaq was that they need to send it away for tests. They said to me, probably not going to be able to operate because it's too close to some very serious veins in the neck. They probably didn't have the expertise and it didn't look great. It was, you know, cancer was mentioned. There was, you know, a lot of words thrown around that was like, this is not a good situation.
So that's half the size.
Easily half the size. You should have seen what they drained out of it, like a pint of liquid. So what happened with Shaq was we brought him here and we could treat the little simple things like ticks and fleas, even though they're quite serious, but we could treat all that. And then his tests were sent away. And I think it took about 4 or 5 days because they have to go to Bangkok and the results came back and the first bit of good news was that it wasn't cancer. It wasn't anything serious. They said that he could survive. If you could cut the mass out, there was a chance that he could survive.
Oh, he's such a good boy, aren't you?
But they were still worried about the general size of it and I could literally see it growing by the day sometimes. Oh, Shaq was not good at the land. You think about it, he's a street dog through and through. You can see he's been in battles, he was rough looking and he didn't settle in well at all. He was trying to chew his way through the kennel. We had to reinforce it with bricks and more wire. He was like walking around, pacing around in his kennel. He was, you know, like the thing was really annoying. He was just so uneasy and so stressed, really.
Come on, Shaq. Let's go, buddy. Come on.
So the next step was a complicated one. So like you want to fix this dog immediately, cut it out, get his pain free. But because he had anemia and a thing called tick fever in his blood, he would have essentially died if anybody tried to operate on him because he would just have bled to death. His blood was all over the place. So really frustratingly, I mean correctly but frustratingly, the vets told us he's going to have to wait 3 weeks to build up his strength, get his medicines into him, get him fit for the operation.
Cleaning of the eyes.
Good boy, good boy. So Shaq started to see a really different side to Shaq. I think about, let's say, a week after he got to the land, he relaxed, he was eating well, he still had his big lump, which was always, I can't even imagine, like if you felt it, how heavy that was to carry around with him. But he started to relax and find his place at the land and realise that we were actually there to help him. You can always see the moment when a dog kind of just relaxes and they're like, okay, some of my problems are starting to go away. These people are nice, still not my territory, but he started to enjoy being at the land.
Ready for a little snack? So gentle.
So the chances of Shaq actually surviving, we're under no illusions that it was a simple procedure. A lot of vets had said they wouldn't even touch it. They wouldn't go near it, too risky. The one vet who did do it, and Sybil, who knows about these things, you know, were very clear to set expectations that Shaq might not survive.
Shaqy, big operation time. You've got this, boy.
It's a really difficult one because you can't leave him. It's going to keep growing and he'll die, you know, quite quickly. or you can take the risk, cut it out, and you could die during the operation. You've got a dog's life in your hands. I couldn't sleep for days. We were always going to try the operation. There was no other option, but still, like Shaq was just, you know, such a nice boy, and it was just like, oh, it was really, really, really stressful. And he survived. Shaq was horrendous when he woke up. They put him in the back of the car. I saw the video immediately. First of all, I was happy that he was alive, but then I heard the noises coming out of him, and Lana told me she was crying.
Come here, Shaq. Come here, baby.
But we brought him back here and then had to carry him into the house, and I think he might have even improved a little bit by then, but he was still terrible. He was cold, he was shaking, he was making those little noises. Again, I was like, okay, he's made it through the operation, but now he's gonna die. I mean, it looked like he was in my house, in my spare room, and I was looking at him, and I was like, he's gonna die here. What am I gonna do? Then I was just like, at least I can be here for him when he dies. Just looking at him, like, I was like, please just take your next breath. Because normally the dog would be in aftercare, but you know, we're on a tropical island, the operation was done, and then I had to look after him at the end. So it's quite worrying when you've never been in that situation and you're not a vet. Now Mr. Shaq is awake after his operation. He had a very ropey 1 or 2 hours, but he's looking quite good now, I must say. He's looking quite good. So he stayed in my house all night, and it was a very long, worrying night, just watching him, hoping that he would make it. And the next couple of days he was quite good.
Shaq, you look good, buddy.
Can't shake, out we go.
My God, he's amazing. You're amazing.
So Shaq is out on his first walk. We don't want to overdo it, but just a little bit of fresh air. He's going to be getting his bandage changed every day. Initially, after he survived that first night, I was like, okay, Shaq's going to make it. And then we went back down again.
It is not.
Now, the weather's really bad outside, and Shaq's unfortunately in a bad way. He's got his bed, but we're all very worried about him. So the swelling has even come around to this side of the mouth now, so he's in a bad way. His face exploded, it wasn't healing, it was like, he looked like he'd been punched in the face 100 times, and I was like, he's not going to make it again. We were all worried, and I got worried because the vets were worried, and Sybil, who's a human doctor, was worried. And when they're worried, you should be worried, because it didn't look good. The first time I've really thought that Shaq was going to survive has been this week, like few days ago. The swelling really went down, he got his stitches out, and more than any of the physical things, he just came alive again. He was barking at dogs, he was trying to get his way over to get more treats. He was just like, he'd been like down in the dumps for 10 days and really struggling, like he was in pain. But now he's got a tiny little bit of swelling, as you can see, but not much, and his stitches are clean, and the lump is gone, and the pep is back in his step, and I think, yeah, I'm totally confident now that it's been a success, but it's been a roller coaster. Now, Mr. Shaq is looking unbelievable. I can't believe we're standing here after all that stress and worry. But he's here, and he's wearing Tina's bandana, which I think is very fitting. She would love that. She would love to see his recovery, and he's going to be around for a long time to come. The only thing we're going to do now is go and have a bit of a play together and explore and go for a walk, and then we're going to sit at the computer, Shaq, and we're going to see if we can find you a forever home, because you'd like that, wouldn't you? You'd like that a lot, mister. I'm so happy to see his suffering has ended, really. I mean, if it wasn't for the locals sending that picture, Shaq would be dead now. That thing would have exploded and he would have, like, call a spade, he would have bled to death and wouldn't be here. So to see him here in Tina's bandana after all the stress we've gone through, 100% worth it.